The Kiwi Squash Cast is an in-season pod and vodcast for New Zealand squash fans. Each episode gives an update on the squash scene from a Kiwi perspective. Starting next week, we will cover local and international pro squash and provide updates on domestic events. In each episode, we feature interviews with persons of interest and tips for your squash game. Message if you have content that demands to be on the show. Subscribe to our social media accounts for updates. We'll catch you next week. Stay for this promo where we talk to New Zealand number 3, Luamba Chilishi, previewing the start to the 2021 season. Okay, so Mr. Luamba Chilishi, season preview for 2021. Let's talk about the structure of the season, key events. What are the key events here?
Key events at the moment is just in the summer series, so we've got next weekend Henderson, Shell Hobbs Henderson Open, which is a 6k event, and then 2 weeks after that we got the Auckland Open, which is a 12k event, and then pretty much in April we got New Zealand doubles, and then Nationals in June, so those are probably the 4.
Okay, I think Nationals has moved to end of July. But it was originally in June. Yeah, true. Okay, and then so it's a little bit front loaded. There's nothing at the moment after Nats really in the system, is there?
Not at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The summer series, we've got Henderson, Eden Epsom, Auckland Open, then we've got Whakatane, back to Royal Oak, and then there's a new event in Morrinsville.
Yeah.
Cool. And are you going to play all those? Because that's 6 in a row. It's a bit tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit tough. I'm probably just going to see how the body feels. At this stage, the one I would miss would probably be Royal Oak, just because of the timing of it. Don't want to miss Whakatane because it's decent price money. And then also want to play Morrinsville because that's now 3k. So I think if I was to miss one, it would be Royal Oak. But we'll just see how the tournaments go. Prior to that event, see how the body's feeling, see how the mind is, and if I'm feeling good and I'm mentally still fresh, still want to play, I'll probably play all of them, but it's not going to be very likely as that with 6 in a row with 2 pretty tough. The tough 6k and 10k as well. So
yeah, it's pretty front loaded obviously, not much later in the year, and we've got 2 of the 3 big events of the year in the first 3 weeks, which is pretty intense. Look, I agree with you. Your thoughts on the strengths of the field? I mean, obviously we don't know what the entries are likely to be for the satellites just yet, but there are, as you say, not everyone's going to play everything.
No. Yeah.
So it's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, it is, I think. I mean, I can't really see anyone playing all the satellites, apart from probably the ones that have just joined, just to try and get some more points.
Yeah.
The others that have kind of established more or a higher world ranking, like the guys that are kind of in the 250s, kind of like Tim Joel, Elijah, Zach, Sean Wigan, they'll probably be trying to play more. But there's the guys like Finn who have just joined Lance and stuff. They'll probably want to just try to play everything and just get some points no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's true. If someone is professional and understands how PSA Tour works with seedings and rankings, whether they like it or not, they should play as much as possible at the start to get their ranking up.
Yeah, just to get it up.
Yeah. And you're right, you mentioned Finn, there's a couple of others. I mean, Lance has probably got commitments and he's been there before, so I guess it just depends on what his objectives are.
Yeah.
So you touched on it just earlier with the Morrinsville. The issue for you now is your points average is higher than a satellite win. So with the current structure of the tour and events not dropping off, there's no point in you now playing satellites for ranking points.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So pretty much I will probably just play, I will just play prize money, depending on the prize money. Also maybe for match play, depending on who's playing. For example, you've got Whakatane, which might attract more people because there's a lot of prize money.
Yep.
So potentially could play something like Evan there. But yeah, it's probably mainly purpose of the satellites, which is prize money now. So can't actually improve my rankings.
Yeah, I mean, you like to play, you like to get out there, you like to win. But that's the reality, isn't it? That if people expect you to climb the rankings, you need events that are probably 5k plus. Whakatane is probably the biggest prize money, but it's not. It could have been a 6K or a 12K. Any thoughts as to why it's not, or you played it 2 years ago?
Yeah, I played it 2 years ago. I think I played it the year before that as well. Didn't perform very well 2 years ago. I think it's just that trying to attract players with a huge kind of prize money pool, because obviously their top prize is 3,000, but then also their Div 1 top prize is 1,500. So I think they're just trying to attract more players and trying to attract the top players, which PSA would do as well. But I think potentially they're trying to look to get more depth as well, like get a really strong open draw so that Div 1 is really strong as well. So you get all those kind of in between A2 and A1 guys who wouldn't normally travel there, going there to play for some money. So yeah, it's quite interesting actually. I'm not sure. I mean, for us it would be really nice if it was a 12K for the pros. But I guess if you're a 30-year-old mid A2 who wins Div 1, $1,500, you can't really complain about that.
Yeah, so that's pretty juicy.
There's two sides to it, definitely. And if there were less events, like if we didn't have the 12 and the 6 beforehand, it probably would have been more annoying, more frustrating, it not being a 12K or a 6K. But I guess we're lucky enough to have those other two events plus the bonus for 3K, so it's not too bad.
I think the first couple of months is decent for you. I guess the question is, from May, June, can some of those events be bumped to 3s and 5s, preferably 5s, and after Nationals, is something going to come in, say particularly from South Island or the southern half of the North Island, would be quite good. And then at the end of this sort of series, there's New Zealand doubles in Palmerston North, and obviously that's big for you. Why is that a big event for you?
Well, at the moment it's kind of the selection for Common Game, so the results from that tournament will go into consideration to be selected for World Doubles, which is supposed to be in July.
Early July in Gold Coast.
So you have to be selected for that team to be able to make a Commonwealth game. So it's pretty much a Commonwealth game selection tournament, and it's very hard for any of us to make singles at the moment because our world ranking isn't high enough, but then also our level of limit isn't quite there either. For some of those guys that right at the top, other than Evan maybe, who played.
Even played it
last time. So doubles is kind of our only path, and by our path I mean us up and coming kind of young pros like me, Joel, Elijah, Glenn, all those guys. It's kind of doubles is our only path into the Com Games, and it's next year, very soon. So yeah, it's a pretty big tournament. Quite a lot of pressure for everyone. Got quite experienced guys like Zach and Lance, Evan as well, playing in the NZ doubles. So Amanda as well in the mix. So it should be very juicy. Should be a fun event.
So you're probably a little bit undercooked in terms of experience playing doubles anyway, let alone on a full-size doubles court. I guess it just is what it is. You got to try and squeeze in as much as you can.
Well, we've been trying to get some practice in before then somehow. So hopefully we can get a few hits in before the actual tournament. Then we got the camp as well just before. So fingers crossed that'll be enough. But lacking a bit of the doubles experience.
And the full-size doubles is quite different from doubles on a singles court.
I actually like it a lot better, to be honest. I think I'm not very good on a singles court. I don't think doubles-wise. Compared to the doubles, compared to a doubles court. I think it's just a lot. Obviously, it's a lot bigger. It's a lot easier to move people around and expose people to movements. I feel like on a singles court, it's just a nice game. Really, it's kind of got a hammer at long rallies. And just wait for errors.
And it's a bit more rift dependent too with all of the interference, I guess.
A lot of lets. It's actually difficult to play in summer, right? Playing if you got 4 A1s playing on the series in summer, hot ball. It's gonna be a long game. Really.
It's pretty messy. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the doubles on a bigger court is their long pounding rallies as well, particularly men's doubles. Okay, so doubles is key. Select World Doubles in Gold Coast probably won't go ahead, but let's hope it does. And if it does go ahead, it'll be important for seeding for Com Games, assuming that goes ahead. So if you're not there and you don't get a decent result, you're not going to get a decent seeding for Birmingham.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many people are going to get sent to Birmingham?
6 at the moment.
Okay.
So 6 and then Squash Gym can give an exemption for 7 to the accept that. So I sent 7 last time, but 6 is the amount at the moment.
Alright, so we've run through the tournaments in the Summer Series and the other ones that are around it with Dubs and Lawrenceville. The front loading of events meant that you had to change the training. So originally we were talking about peaking for Auckland Open, which was March, and then Rochelle Hobbs got upgraded to a 6 and that brought everything forward a couple of weeks. How has your off-season training been going?
Yeah, it's been quite interesting actually, because we had a late finish last season, pretty much because of COVID.
Yeah.
All the tournaments kind of got fitted in at the end of the year, kind of just jammed in. So yeah, we didn't finish till November, end of November pretty much. So we had all of December off, had a couple of hits in December, nothing too crazy. And then yeah, from the 4th of Jan we were straight into some training. Obviously went up to Ruakaka, to your batch, and had a decent week of training. It's quite interesting. Fitness levels definitely dropped, but got them back up pretty quickly, I think that break in December just allowed us to mentally refresh, and we were quite fired up. Well, I was personally, and I think the other boys were reasonably fired up to just get back into it. And yeah, especially after hearing that Michelle got upgraded to a 6K.
Yeah, that's right.
It was very motivating. So it was quite easy, I think, to get back into training. Probably didn't do as much off-season training as I normally would. But yeah, I felt like I had a good, big enough break to just kind of...
Well, to be fair, you're in your off-season now, and you've had a decent run of training since the start of January, so you've probably done enough this side of Christmas. You're kind of more referring to the other side of Christmas.
Yeah.
And you had a trip to Cromwell. How was that?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, again, very refreshing. Great weather down there. The wakeboarding.
Yeah. Good hospitality.
Good hospitality, yeah. Broke a golf club actually on the drive, mate. Sorry, uncle. I'll pay for that when I make it to squash. Yeah, it was good. Had a bit of coaching as well, so I earned a bit of money. But yeah, it's always good going down there. Club there especially very welcoming. A lot of people are keen to get into it and play for squash.
Okay, so that was fun. Hopefully you'll get back there later in the year. Since Christmas, you've been happy, or since the new year, 2021, you've been happy with the off-season training, how it's gone?
Yeah, it's been good. I think, yeah, like you said before, felt like I could have done more before Christmas, but I feel like I've made the most of January.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell at the moment without competition. Like, yeah, you can always train, and if you have good training partners, you can kind of gauge your level with them, but inevitably you don't really see your true level game.
Yeah.
Until you actually play a tournament and play different people. So yeah, I don't really know how it's gonna go, but I'm pretty fired up, pretty pumped. I feel like I've done enough to get some good results in this summer series.
So you've been pretty good at sticking to the sessions and sticking to your plan by the looks of it?
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, I mean, I guess it's dangerous to say that you're ready, but you've had considering the time constraints, you've had a reasonable run through this last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, and you made a few changes. We're not going to talk about those necessarily, and then I guess it's just a case of integrating those into your matches.
Yeah, I think it's more just like a tweaking phase now. I feel like I've worked on what I've needed to work on, and I haven't quite mastered it, but over this next week and through a bit of match play in the first couple of rounds, hopefully I'll be able to get through and just play well and play the things I've been working on well and be mentally tough as well. So hopefully everything just comes together next weekend.
One thing I haven't got on this list here, but we probably should do, is the first tournament coming up, Rochelle Hobbs. Let's do a preview of the draw. So it's kind of an interesting draw because of the way PSA works. And in fact, even if we went up ice squash isn't 100% accurate anymore. And then there's going to be people that are more ready for the events. But there's some interesting matchups in this tournament. So let's talk about the first round matchups. The juiciest is probably Finn versus Zach, is that right?
Yeah, Finn versus Zach. First one. They actually play on both, aren't they? 6 and 10.
Yeah, that's a stitch up, isn't it?
But yeah, that's probably the biggest one. They always have centre battles, so both in the same club as well. But,
yeah, and so Zach 1 and 4 at Palmy in the satellite end of November last year, and but Finn's done okay against them in training and club champs.
yeah.
Okay, that'll be interesting. And we've got Lance against Glenn Timothy.
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
Could be very interesting. It's been tough. Yeah, I'm not really sure how much work it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how much work Lance done either, so it's just gonna depend on who's done, I guess, the most work over summer.
It's going to be a huge mental battle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, Lance is going to fancy his chances, and Glenn is going to have to battle the shot quality of Lance, I guess.
Yeah, and the mind game as well.
Yeah.
I think he knows what to expect, but yeah, it's just the case of he's all clear. Most of what to expect from Lance. I think it's just the case of being mentally strong and trying. I guess he needs to come up with a game plan and then stick to it and not get distracted by everything else.
Yeah.
That's kind of going on. Because Glenn's quite inconsistent. Like he can play really well, and then the next week he can play really bad. And that's kind of what I used to be like that as well when I was a junior, very much like that. So I think it's just just the mindset thing. Maybe he just needs to sort of get his tactics, and try and get his find a stock game plan, get his tactics right every game, and then kind of tweak his tactics.
Okay.
Because this year he had a game against Zach in like Open last year where he probably should have won, but didn't quite get there. Obviously that's quite similar to Lance, very experienced, quite cunning and witty with the way he plays.
And don't necessarily give you a lot of rhythm, so
yeah, exactly. So I think it's good for Glenn to play these sort of matches. So you could once the world opens up, PSA is quite tough like that. You could go and see play someone you should beat, but end up losing to them because they've just got the experience. So it's very good for skipping that second last playing experience.
Yeah, I mean personally I'm glad Lance is playing. I think it adds some spice to the draws and it makes the matchups quite interesting. So personally very glad that he's entered and playing these events. Looking forward to seeing him on board again, that'd be cool. In terms of we've got Joel versus Leo.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I just don't know what to expect with Leo.
Home court advantage, amazing shot quality when he's on, could be quite interesting.
Yeah, could be. It all depends on how Leo plays really. I feel like Joel's playing the same. And if Leo plays really well, he could match it. I don't know for how long, but...
we saw in UPL that how dangerous Leo can be, and not knowing how much squash he's playing at the moment, definitely wouldn't be taking that one for granted.
No, can't take that one.
And you've got Mason, and Mason you've had a few hits with him over summer at Henderson.
Yeah.
So he's a bit more serious this year, he looks a bit more organised. But probably you'd be fairly confident going into that one?
Yeah, definitely. I think because I know him quite well. I've played him before. Know the guy as well. So we'll be confident going in, but I'm not definitely not going to lie. As you said, he's been training a bit more this year too in pro. Doing with the coaching as well. So it seems like there's a goal. Knows what he wants. Just kind of trying to pursue that. So be good to see how he progresses throughout the year.
You look good in that match play that we did, cutting off a lot more balls, looked a bit stronger, faster around the middle. I'd be interested to watch him this year, see how he gets on.
Yeah.
I thought that's encouraging. Nice to see those improvements. And Little Upper's got Sean Wiggin.
Yeah, that's
New Zealand
actually
national
really
champ.
interesting. Yeah. It's been time I haven't seen Smoot play for a while, so I don't know what he's been doing over the summer. I know Upper's been training a little bit. He also came to it with us at Henderson, so yeah, it could be good. I don't know how Sean's going to play. He doesn't seem to do great in the starting tournaments, does he, Sean?
Yeah, he's definitely been doing a lot of racquetball, but you're right, he hasn't always started well because of the other sports that he plays.
Yeah, just kind of something.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm going to pick Upper to win a game or go at least very close to winning a game, and I guess we'll just see what happens after that.
Yeah, I think the game style doesn't really suit Upper. Like, Sean's going to get everything back. Upper really has to make sure he's on, not making mistakes, not giving Sean anything. And yeah, because Upper has also the same as Mason as well, because they just started the tournament, not quite probably as mentally strong as people like Sean, who's been around for a while. So
yeah,
I think it'll be tough for Upper to win, but you can see it being a great game. You can see it being close for sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Sean is quite a benchmark for the young guys coming through. He's a good guy to match up against, so we generally enjoy watching these guys coming through and matching up against Sean. It's generally a good test for them. Test both ways, obviously. In terms of the second round, so your brother, if he wins, would play Evan Williams if he wins. That's pretty juicy for a quarterfinal of a 6K. That should be the match of the round. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. They've played twice or once.
They played last year in Nats and Evan absolutely chopped tennis.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, it's going to be, to me, interesting. Obviously, same with Evan, don't really know what he's been doing over the summer. I know what Tim's been doing over the summer, so I definitely think it could be a close game. I think Tim's game style, from last year, kind of, if he could have gotten a little bit more attacking, could make it very interesting. So yeah, we'll see how he executes his gameplay.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Well, he definitely has
it's
a
gonna
better
come out
idea of
first.
what to do. It's just a question of whether he can do it.
Yeah.
And it's probably a little bit early for that, but we'll see. It should be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then the other quarters would potentially be yourself and Elijah, assuming that the results go a certain way, and then either Joel or Leo against Finn or Zach. I think that would be a good game. That'll definitely be a tough quarter. And the other would be Glenn or Lance against Sean or Upper.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of the matches are a little bit weaker than the others, but I think it's probably better, in my experience anyway, actually getting the harder matches early on, even if you get knocked out. I think it's important to kind of have a mindset of trying to raise level rather than just win and get points and money.
Yep.
Obviously, to a certain extent, you do need to want to get the points and the money. But yeah, people are getting these tough draws, go through these tough first rounds. You just gotta kind of try and find the positives in it and just try and get as much out of it as you can when you're playing Evan first round, or maybe me, or someone like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, PSA is what it is. You're going to get bad draws, good bad draws. You've got to take the good ones when you get them, obviously, and the bad ones, you just got to suck it up and do the best you can. Cool. All right. I'll do the feature question now, bro. From time to time, there's a little bit of chat on social media, and from time to time, people will sort of say, well, if they were playing, they could beat you, or they could beat so and so, or whatever. I mean, obviously, we don't necessarily take those comments very seriously, but what's your sort of response to that?
Had a little bit, not backlash, but obviously posted a little bit over the last couple of years of being winning satellites. Obviously, it doesn't really count as a true PSA title, so I had a few digs from people. I would probably just say, if you think you can beat me into the tournament, we'll see how it goes. yeah, obviously I've met quite a lot of people throughout the last couple of years, obviously with having gone to the UK, but also people coming here.
Yes.
So it's always kind of funny to have a bit of banter and, you know, rip each other out about stuff. But yeah, a lot of the time, well, most of the time, it's never really anything malicious.
Yeah.
We don't take it too seriously, but yeah, if you think you got a shot,
If you think you're good enough, yeah.
and we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
I would probably just say, yeah, watch the front left. Been working on that a little bit, so watch the front left. Don't put me there, and you'll be sweet. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay. Well, good luck, mate. Hope the season goes well for you.
Yep. Thank you.